All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Kimberly Reviews, and today I have the awesome Let the Lady Speak on YouTube. We are here today, and so glad you all are here with us. And we will be talking today about dating, relationships, and self love. So please make sure you go ahead and click like as you come in, share it with your friends, and subscribe to both of our channels. I am Kimberly Reviews on YouTube, and we have Sonia Let the Lady Speak on YouTube. So please support us, and we appreciate it greatly. So,
Mhm.
if you would like to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be great. And then we can jump into some questions.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Sonia of Let the Lady Speak. Let the Lady Speak is actually my podcast. And then I brought my podcast over to YouTube and I do dating advice, relationship advice, but I also review some shows. And in that, I give insight, perspective, and dating advice to those individuals as well. I'm like the virtual coach, I call myself. I'm a big self love advocate, though. Most importantly, I feel like your best relationship starts with you. When you have a healthy relationship with yourself, you can have a healthy relationship with others, and it navigates how you have people in and out of your life. So, I promote healing, therapy, mental health. Regulation and self love. I'm a registered nurse. I am also a life and dating coach. My website will be up soon. But most importantly, I'm a woman who advocates for a healthy being.
That is awesome. I love it, love it, love it. So we will jump right in. So my first question would be, define dating. What is dating to you?
So dating to me is it's an assessment phase. Shout out to Janice over at Church Girls Get Married. It's gathering information. But dating is an assessment phase. It's a social experiment. You're just getting to know people. You're trying to figure out whether or not individuals fit in your life. If you're interested in getting to know them more. It's just a time to again gather information. It's a time for assessment. That is what dating is
Mhm.
to me.
I agree. I have to say, I agree with that. Do you believe in or encourage dating multiple?
Absolutely, because you're not in a relationship. So, dating versus a relationship. A relationship is when you two have committed to the relationship. Hey, first, you two have committed to the relationship. You guys have come to an agreement what this relationship is look like, what it's going to look like, what your intentions for the relationship is, how it's going to go, the roles you're going to play, all of those things. That's a relationship. Dating, we're just getting to know each other. So, dating doesn't mean that you're having sex. It doesn't mean you're giving this person all of your time. It doesn't mean that you and this person are exclusive. That's a relationship or courting if you're in the church. But it's a term we use in the church, I should say. But
Mhm.
it is not dating multiple people is just that you are just gathering information from multiple people. It's socializing. That's it.
Yes, I love it. And like you said, it doesn't mean you're having sex with all these people or even one of them. So a
Mhm.
lot of people get that confused when I say, oh, yeah, I date multiple people or support dating multiple people. That's the first thing they think is ill. But no, you're not supposed to be having sex with everybody you're dating. So that's
No.
very important. So I'm glad you put that part in there as well.
Yeah,
So
and I wanted to I'm sorry, Kimberly, go ahead, honey.
please go ahead.
I wanted to say too, like I hear a lot of people say, I don't have time for all of that. And I understand that. But if you're in the assessment phase, then you're not spending a lot of time with that person. That person isn't getting a lot of your time because once you do, so let me just give an example from my own life. I remember when I was younger and I would get into a guy and we will be dating and we would
Mhm.
spend all this time together. I would allow this person to take up all my time. And then he would go off and be with somebody else. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we were but we never agreed that we were together. We never agreed that it was a relationship. So regulate how much time you give this person, how much you invest in this person, how much access they get from you or of you before when you're in a dating phase. Don't just give up your whole life and leash onto this person who has not committed himself to you and vice versa. So,
Yes, that is good. And that kind of leads to my next question. How do you handle red flags when dating, or how should we handle red flags when dating? Because red flags are there, and a lot of times we like to ignore them. So just give us
Mhm.
some tips on how to move forward.
Okay, well, number one, never ignore the red flags. But more importantly, let's talk about what they are. Like your red flags should be things that goes against your values, your integrity, may put you in harm, safety, and things like that. Some people will say a red flag is he's not 6'4". I'm like, that's not a red flag. He couldn't help that. He was born with that height. You know what I mean?
Right.
Determine what the red flags are, and then weigh your pros and cons. I say, how much do you know this person will have you vested? But really, what is the red flag? I think if it's something you can have a conversation about and it can be worked on, and it doesn't go against your non-negotiables, it doesn't go against your values as a person, it won't put you in harm's way, then maybe that's something you can maybe strong maybe you could talk about. Because again, I've heard people say some things are red flags, and I'm like, okay, girl. But it depends on the person. So have that conversation now. If it's something that goes against your non-negotiables, something that goes against, what you stand for, what put your just, this isn't a good fit for me. Because one thing you have to remember is who a person is who they are. And they may or may not change. They may or may not want to be better. And you're signing up saying that you are in agreement to proceed with this person and all of their red flags. So
Mhm. That's good, because we do ignore those red flags, and sometimes it's hard. But it's a good point you made. I never thought about that. Some people don't know what red flags are because height would not be one, and I think even sight, because they may say, "I don't want to date someone who wears glasses," and hey, that's
right.
not much I can control there. But
Mhm.
that's a good point. So, what are your thoughts on once you meet that person and you think things are going good? What about weekly meetings or dates to discuss what's going on in the relationship, like the good, the bad? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I think it's a good idea to make sure you set time around having a conversation. I would try not to make it too regimented unless that's you guys' personality.
Mhm.
But I do think it's important to always check in with your partner. And one thing that's important is that you also ask them about their needs and want, and don't just make it a one-sided conversation where you're trying to get everything that you need and want, and they are the bad person and they're not meeting your desires and they're doing all these things wrong, because then you're going to shut your partner down. So have a conversation like, I'm trying to check in with you to see how you feel. What do you think? Is there something you need from me? Like, where are we? Things like that. But there's a time and a place for just make sure the timing is right. And if you guys agree on something, that's what you agree on. So if you agree to every Friday night, we're going to have date night and catch up night, then let that be that. But, or if something significant happens, then you're like, I really need to talk about this. But I think communication is key. A lot of times we lose our partners. Um, we lose them as an individual because we don't check in with them and we don't show that we're invested in them and having a conversation about what's going on. Or we hold on to stuff and then we build resentment, and now you're over there mad because they're breathing, but you haven't communicated any of your issues to them and they have no idea as to what's happening. So I think that is important. Yeah.
Yeah. Those weekly meetings, or monthly, or just like you said, a meeting at any point, whatever, and then dating, going on dates, going out, getting to know each other more,
Mhm,
even
mhm,
after you secure the relationship or marriage. To
mhm.
me, it's very important to keep the energy, the kind of the same energy you had when you were dating, getting to know each other in that phase. A lot of
Yeah.
times I see in relationships, people just let it die. And I'm like, no, you have to keep it going and spice up that relationship. And Janice Hilton posted a funny video, I think it was today,
Mhm,
kind of along the lines of a joke, and how to keep the marriage, I guess, exciting and fun and funny, because
mhm,
it depend on Janice Hilton for a good laugh. My next
mhm.
question would be, what are your thoughts on online dating, dating websites, dating through social media?
Well, okay. Personally, I can't do it. Okay. Personally, I need to feel all the energy. I can feel I'm an energy person. I need to
Okay.
look you in your eyes type deal. But I understand that that's what's happening now. I just say be careful because social media and online dating is a playground for a lot of predators.
Mhm.
And I promote healthy, safe dating. So, I'm not against it. I just feel like be careful, and if especially as women, because a lot of us are so easily wooed by words, right?
Mhm.
We don't wait for actions. We need to wait for actions. We need to see actions and words line up. But a lot of men can talk a woman to death. I haven't watched that Netflix show yet, but I want to watch it. The Swindlers, whatever it is, some guy who con these women out of all of this money type deal. So it's like a lot of women can be moved, their emotions can be moved by conversation. And that's all you have when you have online dating. And people can be whoever they want to be behind the screen, you know? So I am one for face to face dating, but that's right. Hashtag wait for action. But I'm not personally not a fan of it. I think you should set up all security. I think you need to get a VPN. Think you
Mhm.
need to get so that you know that your IP address can't be traced back to you. I think you need to get a Google number. I think you just need to be very, very cautious. Be cautious, you know. Hmm.
I'm with you there. Never even thought about the VPN. That is a good tip. Now, I'm all for the Google number because I'm an advocate. I like online dating, and that's kind of my main source of finding people. But
Hmm.
VPN, that's a good point because we use it
Yeah,
at work. So I could see how you would want to use that when you're dating and meeting strangers because that's what it is. But the Google number, I have two
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Two Google numbers, and yeah, those are very important. So, I'm going to be
Mhm.
looking into that VPN now because I want to be extra safe. Safety is very important, and that's what I tell people when you're meeting people online or even in person at your local grocery store or whatever, even at work, because people at work can be one way, and you think you're meeting someone nice, decent, and boy, can the story change, and then you're just in a mess and sad and
Mhm.
wish I would have done this, wish I would have. And I also believe in just invite people into your space. Let them test these people and get to know these people as well, because sometimes we overlook these flags, and sometimes we are just so infatuated with the way they look or what they can do for us. And our family and friends, trusted family and friends, can help us vet people out. So I
Yeah.
think that's important if you're going to go the online dating route or dating locals or whatever.
Right. And we all have that FBI spy friend. Let that friend do the investigate. If unless that's you. That's you. See, we listen, I need you to go look this up. Go find it. Get the I spy friend in to see what you can see because I am always amazed when I hear people say, I understand it happens, but I'm always amazed when I hear people say, oh, I didn't even know he had a whole wife and a whole family and all these other things. And I'm just like, well, what kind of research did you do? You can get everything online now and you can find out if this person is real or not. I mean, people are savvy.
Mhm.
So, be careful. But I don't know. I just feel like dating safely is important across the board, even face to face. Like when I go on a date, you cannot come pick me up until we talk about a certain thing, till we get to a certain place.
Mhm.
I'm still single, so I can't say too much. But till we get to a certain space, you can't come pick me up,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna get there early. Or I may or may not have my car. Like I went out with a cop once. I made sure he couldn't see my driver's license. So I didn't want him to see my driver's license. So he didn't have my car. And I'm so happy because that date was 20 minutes long, okay? Because he started talking about me and my submission. Do I know how to be submissive and blah, blah, blah. And that was the answer. You had a good day. It's time to go because we're not about to do that.
Hey, you did it with a good day. Good day.
I did hit him with a good day. I said, good day. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Wow,
That's gonna be the end of this conversation. It's been a
that's a
pleasure
good
meeting
one.
you. So and even with the car that I had, even though it wasn't mine, I bagged in so he couldn't see. I know some states have front and back licenses. But no, I will have someone there. I
Mhm.
will have give somebody the phone number to see if like there's always a backup. Somebody's gonna be able to find me. I have a find my friend on my phone. You're gonna find me. And so I think it's important to date safely, ladies. Protect yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, that's very wise, even down to the driver's license number and the license tag, because you can find a lot, y'all. If you Google your own license plate or
Mhm.
you enter in your driver license number just in Google,
Yeah.
and you'll be surprised your location will come up a lot of times. Even from your phone number, you can find out a lot about a person just paying $5 or $6. They have a lot of subscriptions that you can buy and research and find people. So we need to try to keep those things as private as we can. Things happen. One
Mhm.
I learned years ago is when you're going home or leaving a day, even if you're just going to the grocery store by yourself, don't always go the same direction.
Right.
Switch, take the long way home sometimes, because you never
Mhm.
know who will follow you. I have done that. I've been that person to find friends and help them find their partner and stalk their partner. I've been guilty. Like I said, I am that friend that they call. So
Mhm.
yes,
Well, good to know, Kim. I'm gonna be like, hey.
I am that friend and I support it. You have to know. You have to know who you're dating, because this is
Mhm.
going to be potentially a lifetime person and they can fake it.
They
People
can.
take anything for a period of time and you think, oh, they have a great job, or oh, he wouldn't do that, or she wouldn't do that. That's what everybody says when someone commits a crime. They say, oh, I never thought he would have did that. And like, I knew her, she was so sweet, and I would have never thought. That's why we have to pay attention and be careful. uh, just follow the tips that Let the Lady Speak is giving us, because
Mhm.
even I'm learning. Even I am learning. So let's get on to the list. So everybody talks about the list. Yes, have a list. No, have a list. What are your thoughts on the list, and what should and shouldn't be on the list?
I love a list, have a list. Okay. I am a fan of a list, but the list, in my opinion, should have three categories. That's your attraction. So what are you attracted to? Okay. Your non-negotiables, and
Mhm.
then your negotiables. And I think that needs to be clear. It's so funny because I recently went on like a mini date. I won't really call it a date. I don't know what you want. We just met up. It was a meetup. It was a meet and greet. And I was trying to get an understanding of what this person, I was trying to get a understanding of their intention type. And so they couldn't tell me anything. And then recently I was talking to a potential client, and that was one of the things that I asked them. What are your non-negotiables? And they gave me one thing, and that thing wasn't even solid. They wanted a family, but they were like, they wanted children. And they were like, well, I don't know. I mean, if she can't, I'm okay. I was like, is that a solid for you though? Like, you have to know your non-negotiables, your preferences, and what you are attracted to.
Mhm.
So because you don't move on your non-negotiables. Non-negotiables should be something you absolutely positively under no circumstances will move on. So if you need you a God-fearing man, you need to put that as a non-negotiable. And and go deeper with that. What kind of God-fearing man are we talking about? We talking about a man that practice and rituals, meaning he goes to church every Sunday, but he's a heathen, or do you want somebody that's like really has a heart after God? Like, there's a difference, and you need to know what's important to you.
Mhm.
Because anybody can say, yeah, I'm saved. Anybody can say, yeah, I go to church every Sunday, and anybody can say a whole lot of things. But if who are they
Mhm.
in Christ? If that's what you're looking for, or if not, if you are into a spiritual person, whatever
Mhm.
it is,
Mhm.
make sure it meets your values.
Yeah, that's good, because that's very important to me. Their relationship, because to me, it's all about a relationship with Christ, just not, going to church and never picking up the Bible outside of church. But no, I need someone to read the Bible with me, pray. That's very
Hmm.
important. So yeah, it's on my list, and
Hmm.
I support the list as well. I have been on my list for a long time and added things and taken away as I've gotten older. I see a lot of things that I may need more of,
Hmm.
in my life, more so because for me, I'm not a cook, so I can't date someone who also doesn't want to cook unless we're going to be making amazing money and can hire a chef. You know,
Right.
and that's possible because I have a chef now permanently because I just don't like cooking. So I have two people that I can go to, and I've been using them maybe 2 years now. And so
Mhm.
it's my thing. I buy a few meals a week. And so when I'm dating, I'm like, yeah, I prefer someone who likes to cook. That's
That's
just
right.
one of my things that's on my list. So
Mhm.
I like that. That's good. Thank you. I'm glad you agree with the list. So we're not throwing out the list today, ladies and
No, we're
fellas.
not throwing out the list. Now, some of the list, yeah, we got to do better. Make sure the list has true purpose. You didn't just come out. He needs to be able to chew on the left side and not the right side. And
Oh,
his hair can be kind of curly, but not too curly. You know what? I think sometimes people go too far. Like, is this person even human that you're trying to build here? Like,
right.
I think it needs to be within reason, but just like with anything else, if you don't plan to succeed, you plan to fail, right? So, what are
Mhm.
you looking for? If you don't know, this is the biggest issue when I talk to people that I find out you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know what you want. And because of those things, you are out here just blowing in the wind without any ability to just say, yeah, I like that and can deal with it, or I don't and walk away. Like my the guy, the cop that I went out with, I know I don't want somebody to start that aggression that he gave me at the table and this whole conversation about submission. I know that's not for me, right? Because I know what kind of the kind of man that I'm looking for would never even ask me a question like that. So yeah, we could end this now. There's no need of trying to figure out woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Right. Yeah.
right? No, we know this is not gonna work. So Godspeed. Take care, sir. All right, bye
Good
bye.
day. I am going to use that one. Good day. Oh, I'm learning too much over here. A good. Okay, so let's get into self love because I believe that that is the issue a lot of times with us linking to and holding on to the wrong
Mhm.
person sometimes for too
Mhm.
long. So let's talk about what is self love. What does that look like?
Self love.
Mhm.
Self love is about honoring yourself, respecting yourself, loving yourself, trusting yourself, being your own friend, being okay with being by yourself. Self love is boundaries, requiring boundaries. Self love is all things that allows you to protect yourself and nurture a healthy, beautiful relationship with yourself. You know, it's affirmation, it's all of those things that help build and lift you up. Your relationship with yourself and self love gets you to a point where your energy changes and who and what you attract changes. The conversations that you're willing to have, the space that you are willing to be in, all of it changes once you really truly learn yourself and how to love yourself. And it eliminates all of the requirements that the world has of you. A lot of us have been programmed to be a way or to be a certain person, and it's not who we are, you know. And it gets you to a place in a space where you know exactly who you are. You know who you are and your beliefs. You know what you require. You know who and what will match with you. Like self love is all of those things. I purposefully don't tell people I can help you find the love of your life. And because I'm not a matchmaker, I would never matchmake people. I don't believe in that because you don't know people in a relationship. You only know them in a relationship y'all have. So I don't do that. I would never sell you that pipe dream. I believe though that once you have a relationship with you and know who you are and know what you want and what you require, it changes everything for you. Right. So you'll know I can what people ask me why am I single because they're like you give dating advice and you single, yeah, for a bunch of reasons, but the primary reason is I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm looking for a person, and when I find that person then we can get down, but I don't need to have the title of a relationship. And that's what self-love gives you, because before I was when I was younger I followed what the church said I was supposed to do this, so I did it, and I almost got married. In 2 weeks before my marriage, I was like, before the wedding, I was like, I can't, I'm not gonna be able to do this. And I'm
That's
so happy.
that's
Mhm.
respecting yourself.
Yeah, and he wasn't a don't get me wrong, he was a great guy,
Mhm,
but at the core of things, he wasn't where he needed to be. I wasn't where I needed to be because I didn't know myself. I was young. That's why I don't believe in getting married in your 20s. I know everybody doesn't agree with that, but I realized that me having a career was important. Now, there were other things that happened, but at the end and beginning of the day, I wanted a career. And
mhm,
he wanted a stay at home woman. Not even, he didn't care. He wanted a stay at home wife. He didn't even care if we had children or not. He just wanted someone to stay at home. I didn't want that. I
mhm.
wanted a career. I'm intelligent. I want to use what God gave me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, that a couple with other things, called it quits. The
Mhm,
best thing. Otherwise, I'd be divorced right now. So,
mhm. That's big. That says
mhm.
a lot when you love yourself enough to say, "You know what? I'm not gonna fake this for the rest of my life, or I'm not gonna force it." It may not even be faking it. It could be just forcing something, and that causes stress. When
It
you're in
does.
something that you should not be in for too long, it causes you stress, it causes you depression, so many things. And I was in the same situation. Like I said, the guy that I was engaged to last year, great guy. I really
Mhm,
don't have much negative to say about him other
mhm,
than he really struggled with the pandemic. And,
mhm,
he got into deep depression, and I just was not able to handle that. Like, I
mhm,
will honestly say I could not handle it. Like, I didn't know how to handle someone outside of professional help, because I know me personally, I believe in therapy. So
yeah,
if something's wrong, I go to the doctor when my health is messed up. I
mhm,
reach out to friends when I'm not feeling my best. And
mhm,
if something's wrong mentally, we need therapy. We need to go and seek help. So that's what I'm all for. So outside of that, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to drag this over into the new year and hope and wish? Or am I going to go ahead and cut it here and
mhm.
wish him the best? And that's what I did. And like I said, great guy. Just I couldn't handle what he needed to be handled. So I'm happy. I'm good.
Good for you, and that's important, and that's one of the ladies, that's one of the things that should be on your list. Coping mechanism, coping skills. How does this person cope?
Mhm.
You need to find that out. A lot of times we are so busy being like in awe of, oh my god, he lost his whatever, if he lost a loved one or these tragic things happen to him and you think you about to be his savior. No,
No.
no, no, no. How have you dealt with that? How are you dealing with that? How does that make you feel? Like, you better dig into that thing and try to figure out, because one thing you will learn is you guys may have, I did a video recently about trauma bonding versus bonding over trauma. And
Mhm.
you guys get together and y'all bond over y'all trauma, and you're like, we've been through the same thing and I understand. But what you don't know is how it impacted him. You may have gotten help, you may have gotten therapy, or have there are aware of therapeutic tools, whereas he may be not, and he may secretly resent women. And although he loves his mother, so he says, she left him and he's
Mhm.
still angry with her and he hasn't dealt with that. And you will be the one to get the brunt of all of that. Right. So, how do you cope? So then he's out there womanizing, he's addicted to porn,
Mm.
all those kind of things. And then what about drinking? Does he drink a lot? Like, I'm all for a cocktail. I love me a cocktail, but are you coping with alcohol? Are you coping with porn? Are you coping with spending money? Are you coping with working? Like, how do you cope? I need to know your coping skills. I
Mhm.
need to know how you deal with things, and put that on your list, ladies. Stop worrying about whether or not he's 6 feet, and try to figure out where's his mental state, where's his mental state and how he deals with things, because that determines how you guys' relationship is going, how healthy that relationship is going to be.
Yeah, that's good. So important. So the next question and final question for me, because I had a lot of questions, is help us out with some self-love tips.
For one, I'm a fan of journaling. If you don't like to write, because I have a lot of people tell me they don't like writing, you can get an audio tape. Do use your phone, whatever. I say, for one, start with asking yourself really who you are and what do you like. Try to describe yourself in, a couple of words. Pick three, 3 to 4 words. Like, who am I? Say 2 to 4, 2 to 4 words. Who am I? What do I like? Right? It really starts with exploring who you are. If you believe in a higher power, Oh, I'm sorry. If you believe in a higher power, then that as well, I will encourage you to who am I in you? That's encourage. It's important to know who you are in your creator, because that is freeing. You know, when I left I left the church when I was 16 years old, um, and I was 23. And I remember I was doing a paper, and then I read the book of Ephesians. The book of Ephesians and Proverbs are my favorite Bible books, my favorite books in the Bible. And when I realized like who I am in him, all of those things that they did to make you feel like you're less than and you will never be good enough and
Mhm.
God will never love you changed, right? And I'm like, he chose me. So what
Right.
is all of this mess? Why trying to
Exactly.
tell me I gotta be upside down, inside out? Because
Mhm.
I was always the kid that got pinched in church and stuff like that. Because I had questions. This doesn't make sense to me. Now, why
See?
would I be born with this? And then he tells me, no, this doesn't make sense, you know? And so once I realized that, okay, then I'm loved. All right. And I built that relationship and that changed my heart on some things. So work on that relationship and work on that relationship with yourself. Really get to know who you are and then take time out for yourself and then require that people respect your boundaries. Start saying no and
Ooh.
mean your no. Start having conversations with people. Yep, Miss Creative. Start having conversations with people to get an understanding of their true intentions of your life. Like try to figure out who these people are. But it really starts with just really getting to know you. What do you require? What
Mhm.
makes you feel safe? What makes you feel encouraged? How do these relationships around you make you feel? Because how they make you feel is telling, but we ignore those feelings, right? You know
Mhm.
that friend is not right. You know they're shady. You know their intentions aren't really good. You know they don't even really like you. They like the benefit of you though, right? So since they like that benefit, they're gonna stick around and kiki with you, but they're draining you, you
Mhm.
know? And they're not bringing anything of value into your life. So reassess those relationships, set those boundaries, get to know yourself, accept yourself, say, yeah, this is me. And I can't stand that saying, they're gonna have to love me for who I am, good, bad. If you don't want me in my bad and you don't want me in my good, try to be the best version of yourself. Let nobody want to deal with no foolishness now. You, you gotta do
Right.
you got to do better. You got to be willing to work on those broken pieces. But in order to do that, you have to acknowledge that you have broken pieces. It's okay to say, you know what, my mother hurt me. You
Mhm.
know what, my father hurt me. You know what, you leaving me and abandoning me actually did hurt me.
Right.
It did hurt. You
Yeah.
know, I do resent you. I am mad at you. It's
Mhm.
okay to say those things. It's bad to hurt people, but like physically hurt people or say it with the intention of hurt. But
Mhm.
it's okay to acknowledge, even if you just acknowledge them to yourself, acknowledge that this hurt. I
Mhm.
didn't like that. I'm protecting myself in this moment.
Mhm.
When you start having those conversations with yourself, it changes everything because you're your own friend and now you know what to do. Okay, so I know this hurts me. What do? I remove myself. I
Mhm.
can communicate with them if they don't want to make the adjustment. Okay, that's who they are. They can be that person, but let me remove myself from this relationship. I love a whole lot of people. Let me tell you something. I am in contact with very few. I will
Mhm.
love you from a distance. I know you said no cut. I would love you from a distance. I will love you from across the pond. But baby, I'm gonna always choose me. And you
Yes.
gotta recognize that that is not selfish.
Right.
Soothe yourself. Learn to meditate. Learn to pray. Learn to sit alone with yourself. Learn to love on yourself. Learn to speak life into yourself and learn to require that people give you the respect and honor you deserve.
Mm. Yes. I'm over here taking notes, y'all. I am.
Woo!
Say no. That is one of my favorites because I do a lot on finance and financial coaching, and
Mhm,
just that's what I have to tell my customers and clients is learn to say no. That is,
mhm,
it's amazing how that's a part of self love too. Saying no, it helps, and we have to do it. And then even distancing yourself from people. Even I spoke previously. I had to distance myself from a childhood friend, like someone I thought
mhm,
would be my friend forever because this person wanted to abuse borrowing money. And
yeah,
then when it time to pay back. They were across the pond when it was their time to pay me back. But when they
Mhm.
needed something, they were there smothering me, couldn't hardly breathe. But
Mhm.
yep, had to say no, start saying no and distancing myself. So that goes, I think, for anyone, parents, siblings, friends. It could go for anyone. So that's a great tip. I'm
Well,
loving
thank
it.
you.
Um,
Thank you.
looking at these comments. I was trying to get caught up because I was just enjoying the conversation. But yes, you all have been putting some great tips, input, and encouragement in the chat. I appreciate it so much. But that's it. That's my only question. The only question. I had a bunch of questions.
No,
but
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Hi, ladies. Thank you for showing. And high vibe. Yes, I agree. There's a difference
yes,
between selfishness and self preservation, and people will try to manipulate you into thinking otherwise. They will try to say you're being selfish as though that's a bad thing. There's a difference between trying to again preserve yourself and making sure you take care of yourself versus having someone use you up. That's one of my hangups now. Like when I'm reviewing these shows, so many people want people to sacrifice their mental health and well-being for other people. That's not how this goes. If this is not a good fit, it's not a good fit.
yeah,
If we don't work, we don't work. I
right,
see you over there. I accept you for who you are, but you are not a good fit for me. And that's okay to say.
right. That's good. Yep, I see you over there
I see
across the
you over
pond.
across the pond. Hey.
Love it. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Ah, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks to everyone in the chat for liking and sharing it out and leaving a comment. So, if anyone has any questions, feel free to enter a question. We'll either answer it now or come back later somehow and answer in the comments or whatever. So, if you have anything else, anything I did not cover or mention that you wanted to mention, please do so or just shout out your channel and whatever you want us to support you on.
Well, thank you. It's been great. Thank you for the collaboration, Kimberly. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe to Miss Kimberly Reviews channel. I just want to say I appreciate being here. And again, I am a huge advocate for self-love, and I'm a huge advocate for dating in a healthy manner. And being just having agency over yourself. So I'm gonna promote that. Once my website is live, I'll let you know. I'm actually it's built and everything is okay. I just have to add the finance. I gotta add the finances. So I have to go set up my accounts and stuff like that. But then we can go live with that, and I will start doing just chat calls because I want to do a package and some workshops and things like that. So I will let everyone know once I'm live, and you know, I we can work together. We can work together. But please follow me on Let the Lady Speak on YouTube and on all platforms for podcast platforms. I was trying to get it out, but I couldn't find a podcast podcast word. Yeah.
Good. So, yes, support. Thank you so much for coming on my channel, helping me, and just giving us all this information because I learned I love dating. I'm back out here dating again. So, here we are. Let's see how this goes. Thanks again, everyone, for the support. And that is it, y'all. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Yourself Day. Go take
Oh,
yourself on a date.
take yourself on a date.
Take
I
yourself
love
on a
it.
date. I love you, ladies. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. Bye bye, y'all.